Reddit question. What's the most realistic and fastest way to become a millionaire if you have no money? 1. Beta reading novels. Some authors will actually pay for a feedback on their books, even if the writing sucks. If you also know how to edit or proofread, you can charge extra for that service. 2nd, offering online freelance services. Things like music, programming, graphic design, and more. Freelance work isn't always hard to find or do, and it can definitely add up over time. 3. Modeling for art classes. Ridiculously easy money. Sometimes you're clothed, sometimes not. You get paid, offered tea and cookies, complimented on your body, and leave with artwork made of you. You don't need a model's body. Artists love unique and interesting figures, plus it's fun and boosts your confidence. 4. Working as a standardized patient. Medical students need to practice with someone. It doesn't pay a ton, but it's honest work. It's also a niche job, so there's less competition. 5. Selling plasma. While you can't sell organs in most countries, you can legally donate plasma in places like the US. Tons of students and low-income folks do it. It's a source of extra income many people overlook. 6. Calling your service providers. Call your internet or phone provider and say you like the service, but it's too expensive. Ask about any special offers. If you've checked competitors' rates, they might give you a 10 to 30% discount just to keep you. 7. Saving money equals earning money. A war vet got 10% off at Target. His wife got excited, so they bought stuff they didn't actually need. In the end, saving money can be more powerful than earning more. 8. Selling designs on Redbubble. Upload your art, and even if you stop updating, popular designs can keep generating passive income. Accounts don't get deleted for being inactive either. 9. Remote transcription jobs. You get audio files and have to type them up, tagging who's speaking and when, using a system they provide. If you've got sharp ears and type fast, it's easy money. 10th. Low morals option, fake chat operators. You pretend to be a woman texting men from fake profiles. They pay well. Around €1.50 per message plus bonuses. The industry is big, automated, and has clear rules, even if it's ethically sketchy. 11th, saving equals income. The elites don't want you to know this, but the ducks in the park are free. You can just take them home. Obviously a joke. 12, posting to Pixabay. I upload vacation photos and some vector art I made while learning Illustrator. Downloads are free, but people can tip. I make around $40 a month from an account I haven't touched in 2 years. Most tips come in euros or pounds, but PayPal auto-converts it all. My most popular uploads are of northern lights, cannabis leaves, and rattlesnakes, thanks to reverse image searches. 13. Where my photos end up. They've been used on Icelandic tourism sites, book covers, mouse pads, blog posts, and YouTube backgrounds. Pretty awesome, honestly. 14th class action lawsuits. Lots of people abuse the system, but many of these don't require proof and surprisingly often apply to the general public. 15. Dog walking. My neighborhood has a bunch of elderly people. I make $10 to $25 a day jogging around with 3 to 5 dogs. I don't even own a dog myself. 16. Cat sitting. When people travel, I check in on their cats. Clean the litter once a day, feed them twice, and play with them for about 30 minutes. One guy pays me $100 for 3 days. Great if you love animals. 17. Dumpster diving. Years ago, a friend got out of serious debt by diving for valuable stuff. She found SAT prep software, old antivirus programs, tax software, tons of CDs when they were still valuable. Sold it all on eBay. When those places locked up their dumpsters, she hit rich neighborhoods instead. Found furniture, filing cabinets, and even a computer that just needed a new power supply. My brother's done it too, both for profit and for food. And 18. Some things can't be resold for hygiene reasons, like certain creams or personal care products, and they end up in the trash. He picks them up and sells them on Craigslist. He's also found space heaters and unopened cereal boxes that look brand new. That's breakfast for weeks. If the dumpster is locked, you can pull the back hinge. Just leave it the way you found it. 19. Go to your nearest employment agency and say you're looking for a short-term job with low requirements. Chances are you'll start the next day. Warehouses and similar places often hire you on the spot if you're available. 20. Selling feet pics to strangers. I see this more and more. I'd try it, but I don't know where to start. Basically, have nice feet and know how to take good pictures. Try Grindr, use a fake face pic, be clear about what you're offering, and avoid people who just want to chat without paying. Open an Instagram or Twitter account just for your feed. I've come across several by accident that have over 10,000 followers just showing feet in different scenes. 21. One time I got paid $25 for taking part in a study. I just searched for paid studies and found several results. 22. Sometimes universities pay you to answer questions. I did a Zoom interview once about perceptions in video games based on gender. I got a $25 Amazon gift card for about 30 to 45 minutes of my time. 23. I also took part in paid focus groups. They sent me surveys by email, and if I qualified, I'd get invited to test juices, rate flavors and textures, etc. One time I even got paid just to drink beer. 24. Sometimes you don't get selected, but when you do, it's good money just for filling out forms. 25. Selling blood plasma has been a side income for me. It feels good getting paid for something natural your body makes anyway. 26. Starting with a large fortune. Sounds like a joke, but the fastest way to make $1 million is to start with 2. Choosing the right parents, as some say, is more luck than strategy. 27. Another idea is going to support group sessions for gambling addicts. You might meet desperate people willing to sell their stuff at super low prices. 28. Recycling. It's a small thing, but returning cans and plastic bottles pays 10 cents per unit where I live. I made around $20 a month doing this. Not much, but it's passive income. 29. In Australia, working in construction can be super profitable. Some shifts pay up to $100 per hour for 12-hour days. It's tough, but the money is worth it if you can handle the work. 30. You can also use free browser extensions that automatically apply coupon codes and help you save money every time you shop online. 31. Donating plasma. You can make between $60 and $100 a week if you donate twice. Many centers offer promotions for new donors. At mine, for example, you can earn $700 in your first month if you complete 8 donations. The first time takes about 2 to 3 hours because of medical exams, but after that, it's just 1 hour per session. 32nd, investing. Even if you don't have much, it's worth putting your money to work. A lot of people leave it in low-interest accounts when they could be making more elsewhere. 33rd, being a TV extra. It sounds like a secret, but it's actually easy. Some shows find extras through Facebook pages. You just show up, sign in, and get paid $100 for a few hours, plus free food. Just avoid big productions like Amazon's. They pay well, but demand long overtime hours. 34. Flipping stuff. Go to garage sales or thrift stores and look for items that sell for more on eBay. A friend of mine bought a NASA mug for 25 cents and sold it for $70. 35. Baking bread. If you find a good recipe, people will come back for more. I once gave away free samples and soon couldn't keep up with the orders. 36. Be careful with scams. I once got an email from a Nigerian prince who wanted to share his fortune. He just needed my info. Still waiting for that money. 37. When you want to buy something non-essential, wait a week or 2. It really helps kill impulse spending. Also, medical experiments. They're a real source of income. Look for the ones already in the later stages of testing, so you're not the first guinea pig. I once got paid $1,000 for a painkiller trial. Another study paid me $4,000 for participating in a wound healing treatment. It left some scars, but it was worth it. Some studies require overnight stays, while others just take up part of your day. The ones where you stay overnight usually pay more, but at least they feed you. You need to be drug-free and a non-smoker in most cases. Ask for a raise. A lot of people never do this, either out of fear or pride. But if you do your job well, you deserve more. It's that simple. Try software testing. Sites like User Testing pay around $20 for 10 to 15 minutes of work. You just give honest feedback on websites or apps. No tech skills required. Spend less. Don't eat out constantly. Only buy what you need. Fix things instead of replacing them, and buy secondhand when you can. You'll save way more than you think. Collect scrap metal. It won't make you rich, but if you've got a truck and pick up metal while doing other errands, you can make a few $100 a month. It just takes consistency. Sell old stuff at home. Also, use coupons and promo codes whenever possible. Never pay full price if you can avoid it. Stretch your money to the max. Reddit question: what's the most realistic way to get rich if you have no money? Story 1. From my experience, I've seen two main paths that actually work. The first is starting a business in a profitable niche. It doesn't need to be something groundbreaking. You don't have to invent the next Facebook. Sometimes the simplest ideas turn out to be gold. I knew a woman who, after her divorce, started a small dog walking service. This was a few years ago. Today she paid $400,000 in taxes and owns a $1 million property where she runs a full-time pet care service. Yes, she's exhausted and has no free time, but her bank account speaks for itself. I also know people in landscaping and garden design. It's hard, physical work, but very profitable if you know how to manage and scale it. The second path is slower, but just as valid. Build a well-paying professional career. Save aggressively. And instead of blowing that money on luxuries, invest it wisely. The careers that pay the most tend to be in medicine, engineering, law, or finance. Attending a good university and landing a quality internship makes all the difference. Even within those fields, there are levels. A top cardiologist earns way more than a pediatrician, for example. Same thing with corporate lawyers versus public defenders. Story 2. It might not sound romantic, but marrying the right person can completely change your life. Look at Melinda Gates. She married one of the richest men on earth, left her job, and after the divorce, became a billionaire. Today, she gives talks encouraging women to be independent. But the truth is, her wealth was built alongside an incredibly successful man. The message might be empowering, sure, but let's be honest. How many people can actually follow that same path? Story 3. I recently read a survey of millionaires, and the stat that shocked me the most was this. Most of them had one thing in common: engineering backgrounds. And it makes sense. Engineers are at the heart of tech development, innovation, and solving big problems. I even know someone who became an engineer first and later studied medicine. Now he works as a doctor, and he says that while medicine is meaningful, the road to wealth was in his earlier career. Many doctors are the poorest among the rich. They earn well, sure, but they also carry debt, insane stress, and a long road to get there. Meanwhile, in tech, some junior engineers are already investing before turning 30. Story 11. If we go by the usual definition of poverty, then yes, I grew up poor. Since I was 10, my family depended on government aid just to eat. We lived in a state where winters were brutal, and more than once we didn't even have gas to heat the stove. We ate once or twice a day, and often all we had was plain pasta. A simple childhood. No luxuries, no options. My family was like many others, hardworking people doing everything they could just to get by, but never quite making it. By the time I was 30, I'd spent 4 years in the military. I got out with some experience and some debt. Around $6,000 on credit cards, no savings. I lived paycheck to paycheck, drove a beat-up car that broke down every 2 weeks, and rented a shared room with a couple of friends. My salary barely covered my basics. Today, I'm 59. And while I'm not a millionaire in the flashy sense, I've got $1.5 million in my retirement fund, another $225,000 in personal investments, and a fully paid-off home worth around $1.5 million too. Plus, a modest but solid emergency fund. Do I consider myself rich compared to where I started? Absolutely. After leaving the army, I got into tech. It wasn't fast, but I slowly worked my way up. I earned certifications in areas that were in high demand and built a steady career. After 5 years of saving and working, I went back to school for a master's degree in management. Eventually, I climbed the ranks to become a senior executive. For the past 5 years, my salary has averaged around $200,000 a year. But more than the money, what drove me was fear. Fear of going hungry again, of being without a roof over my head. That made me very cautious, a borderline obsessive about planning. Sometimes I even beat myself up for not starting to invest earlier. This isn't a story of surprise inheritances or magical Bitcoin luck. It's a story of hard work, strategy, and knowing one thing for sure. I never wanted to relive the story I lived as a kid. Oh, and here's one detail that I know some people won't like hearing. We never had kids. For better or worse, that gave us a huge financial advantage. Other couples with similar careers are way behind us today just because of how expensive kids are. Not saying it's good or bad, it's just a fact. Another thing that helped? I had a partner who shared the same goals. We weren't pulling in opposite directions. We always rode together. There's no magic formula, but there are decisions that, over time, make all the difference. Story 4. Yes, it's basically a repeat of the last one, because a bunch of Reddit users echoed the same thing. Engineering, software development, and anything tech-related continues to be the best route for people starting from zero. Studying a technical career, focusing on practical skills, learning to code, or specializing in something high demand can be a total game changer. It's one of those moves that doesn't pay off right away, but with consistency and long-term thinking, it puts you in a powerful position. Story 5. Beyond lucky breaks like marrying someone with a massive bank account, becoming a YouTube star, or winning the lottery, there's a more traditional path to financial stability. And yes, even wealth. In my opinion, the key is to follow a clear, consistent strategy. First, complete a solid professional degree. Medicine, engineering, or any field that offers real job prospects and good pay. Then, get a stable job where you can grow over time. And here's the important part. Even if you earn well, don't fall into the trap of spending on unnecessary luxuries. Learn to live below your means. Save and invest 15 to 30% of your income each month. You don't need to become a financial expert, but you should understand how investment funds, stocks, and compound interest work. Over time, your money will start working for you. Of course, this plan works best when the economy stays relatively stable, since a global crisis can throw everything off. But if you follow this path with discipline, by the time you're 60 or even earlier, you could retire with several million in the bank. It's not a fast path, but it's a reliable one. Story 6. One of the responses that really stuck with me was this. If you want to get rich, solve a big problem for people or companies that already have money. It sounds simple, but it runs deep. Big, complex problems are expensive, and people with money are willing to pay a lot for effective solutions. So what can you do? Instead of trying to do everything, focus on solving one specific problem. Make it your obsession. Study it, test things, fail and improve until you become an authority on it. Once you're truly an expert, you can start charging high rates for your knowledge. Because now, you're not just selling your time, you're selling solutions that no one else knows how to deliver. This path doesn't give immediate results, but it's a proven formula. And the best part is, it's based on creating real value, not luck, not connections. Story 7. Being rich is rare, and if that's your goal, you need to be just as rare. Whether it's having insane luck, exceptional talent, or a crazy work ethic, what you can't be is average. But there's something even more important than all of that. You need to be ready when opportunity comes. No one walks outside and gets rich in an afternoon. But you can work today to put yourself in a position where, if the right opportunity shows up, you're ready to grab it. It could be a unique job offer, an unexpected business deal, or an investment opportunity that only comes around once a decade. And while not everyone will make it to the top, the truth is that if you prepare, if you do the right things for years, your odds are way higher than if you're just sitting around waiting for something magical to happen. It's not a glamorous path, but it's realistic. Story 8. Starting a business is one of the clearest ways to get rich, but that doesn't mean it's easy or guaranteed. Most businesses need startup capital, and that's already a barrier for many. Still, there are careers that combine the best of both worlds, financial stability and professional freedom. I'm talking about careers like law, accounting, banking, or medicine. A lot of the people I know who live comfortably started there. They studied, worked, got experience, and then made the leap. They opened their own firm, office, or practice. Maybe they don't have yachts or mansions, but they live without financial stress, travel when they want, and enjoy what they do. It's that kind of quiet wealth you won't see on Instagram, but you can feel it every time they buy something without checking the price. Story 9. Something I've always heard from people with stable finances is this: study something that opens doors, build a solid career, and start saving from day one. And even though it sounds basic, most people don't do it. We live in a time where impulsive spending is seen as totally normal. But if you can control that, if you set aside a portion of your income and invest it instead of wasting it, you'll be in the top 10% of earners within a few years. Now, if you want to go even further, you'll need more. Your own business. And yeah, a little luck. A clear example is the story of Tomas Breno, the son of immigrants who arrived from Eastern Europe with barely anything. His family got by with scholarships and simple jobs. Story 10. The first thing that popped into my head when I got this question was something sarcastic. If you look good, make a profile on OnlyFans. But seriously, these days it often comes down to being in the right place, with the right idea, at exactly the right moment. Let me give you the closest example I have. My wife and me. We're not rich really, we live in a modest town, but we definitely got lucky at key moments. We bought our first house over 20 years ago. It was small in a modest neighborhood. Just when the real estate market was peaking, we decided to sell it. We made about $200,000 on that move. 1 month later, the bubble burst. We used that money to buy a much more comfortable home right before everything crashed. Then the pandemic hit. Like everyone else, we were stuck at home. My wife is a nurse and her hours got cut. So we sat down and took a hard look at our finances and realized something worrying. We had money just sitting there, not growing. We were holding on to it like that was enough. That's when we started learning. We dove into stocks, funds, crypto, and began moving our money. It wasn't a fortune, but we invested nearly all our savings. This was right when the market had tanked. At the same time, I decided to build a small Ethereum mining rig. Just 7 GPUs, nothing fancy. It was tough to put together, parts were super expensive, but I made it work. Then this company called Zetatech launched a new mining-focused GPU. I thought, why not take a chance on them? I bought a bunch of their stock when it was worth just pennies. Not long after, the price exploded and they did a 10-to-1 stock split. I'm no financial genius, and I won't pretend this was all skill. I came from Mexico just hoping to build a better life. And along the way, yeah, I got lucky a few times. But that luck wouldn't have meant anything if I hadn't been ready to act on it.